Not long ago, home brands were seen as cheap knockoff stores put on their shelves to make a quick buck. Now, they're dominating the market, and it's all because of one shop, Costco. Costco turned their private label, Kirkland Signature, from a humble home brand into a competitive powerhouse that dwarfs some of the traditional brands just by itself. How did they do it? The most important thing to understand about Costco is that it doesn't operate like a normal supermarket in any way, shape, or form. If you were a business analyst looking at Costco's entire structure on paper, you'd probably think the people running it are insane. Everything Costco believes in runs counter to what the competition does. Here's a quick rundown of the strategy. First, profit margins are razor thin. Costco barely makes any money at all from individual sales of its products. Let's say you buy a big pack of chocolate bars at $10. Costco probably only makes around 20 cents in profits from that individual sale. That's basically nothing. Walmart, for example, runs with an average gross profit margin of about 24%. Costco's is just 12%. Second, Costco forgoes all the razzle-dazzle. Head into a Costco shop and you're basically heading into a warehouse. Products are stacked up high in a grim, grey setting. No fancy ads or anything, just tons of bulk and their prices. Most chains would balk at this. They want their customers to feel welcome in their stores. This is about as cold a reception as you can get. Third, and this is the most important part, Costco don't let you in for free. You can only shop in Costco if you buy a year-long membership plan for a flat rate of about $60. Before you've even bought your first item at Costco, you're already down $60. This sounds like a total mess, but when you put these three things together, it makes a super competitive strategy. Costco makes the vast majority of its money from memberships fees. Because it has no HR department, doesn't spend any money on advertising, and doesn't spend anything on the usual razzle-dazzle, it can keep its prices super low. On top of that, Costco only sells stuff in bulk, which means that you get super good value for money if you need to stock up. The membership fee and the bulk sales incentivize you to only shop at Costco, which feed into its whole game plan. This crazy strategy has made the store a bit of a folk hero among supermarket chains. The employees are paid well, customers love the super low prices, and Costco keeps its profits flowing. This is the foundation Costco bases its Kirkland Signature on, and it's why the brand has absolutely exploded the store's profits in recent years. Home brands are super common in supermarkets. If you pick up a box of Cocoa Pops at Walmart, chances are good there'll be a Walmart version, Cocoa Pops, right next to it, with less flashy marketing and a much smaller price tag. Walmart pockets the full price if you buy the home brand version, so they can afford to dip their prices compared to the big brands they usually stock. But the obvious issue is that the quality usually takes a nosedive too. Walmart version Cocoa Pops rarely taste as good as the real deal. Some people will take the hit in quality on the chin, but a lot of buyers go for the brand instead. There's a reason why home brands have a reputation. Costco, as always, is the exception. Kirkland Signature is their private label for all their home-produced products, and it's proudly slapped in bold on every single one for everyone to see. Unlike the competition that try to imitate the brands as much as possible, Kirkland Signature makes no attempt to hide that it's the home brand whatsoever. The packaging is straightforward, simple, and as minimalist as possible. Costco makes sure that next to every branded item they sell, a Kirkland Signature is right beside, offering a cheaper alternative. So how is Costco setting itself apart yet again? Every part of the Costco strategy plan revolves around appealing to what customers want most of all: good quality for low prices. Everything else is just unnecessary fluff that gets in the way. This philosophy goes all the way back to the store's co-founder, James Sinegal. Sinegal and the rest of the executive leadership take a very hands-on approach to leadership, making sure every single aspect of the business passes the threshold of quality they expect. If you want an idea of just how much the philosophy of good quality, low prices means to Sinegal, just ask the former Costco CEO, Craig Genelec. The store is known for its $1.50 hot dog and drink combo. Doesn't matter what else is going on in the world, how high costs are going up, the hot dog stays at $1.50. Genelec once suggested the idea back in 2018 to up the price of the hot dog to $1.75 to keep up with inflation just a little bit. Costco analysts ran the numbers and found people would be just as willing to pay the difference, but Senegal was absolutely appalled by the idea. "If you raise the hot dog," he told Genelec, "I will effing kill you. Figure it out." That's the level of commitment the Costco leadership has to its philosophy. It's even more intense when it comes to Kirkland Signature. The home brand is meant to embody this approach at its very core, so it can't be seen as lackluster. Costco operates with a slim 14% maximum markup rate for its products, very low compared to the average 24 to 30% of its competitors. But as they're producing Kirkland Signature themselves as their private label, store executives allow the markup rate to be increased to 15%. Still low, but just enough to get them that much bang for their buck. But if you've been paying attention, you'll see another odd quirk about Costco's home brand. Head inside any of its competitors' stores, and the home brand items will all have different names on each product they sell for the most part. There's a reason for this. If you have a bad experience with one product, the store doesn't want to discourage you from buying other home brand products. This makes sense. After all, the home brand items are cheaper and are usually lower quality compared to the traditional brands. Costco, though, smelled an opportunity. They saw it the complete opposite way. If their home brand became known for its quality, customers would see the Kirkland Signature label and know right away that it was a good purchase. It was the complete opposite approach to what traditional business strategy told them to do, but in true Costco fashion, they took the risk and went against the grain. An obvious question poses itself now though. How can Costco make sure its home brand products are up to snuff in the first place? Competing with traditional brands is no easy feat. That's where the leadership stepped in once again. Ron Vacharis, the current Costco CEO, is the final hurdle every single Kirkland Signature product must cross before hitting the shelves. He tests each one himself and is a big stickler for quality. If a product doesn't pass the test, it's canned. It doesn't matter how long it's been in development. The Kirkland Signature relies on its reputation as a top quality label in order to survive. It goes even further though. Most quality assurance for home brand products would just say, it's good enough. But Vacharis demands every product is better than the top competition, cheaper too. Once, Vacharis said no to the bacon, egg and cheese breakfast sandwich that's become a Costco staple, simply because he didn't feel the buyer was getting enough protein for the price compared to the competition.
An example of something that you did say no on at least once at that point, and then it was improved and we might now see it on shelves?
A bacon, egg, and cheese breakfast sandwich that we have out. But we came out with an equivalent of the protein in the item that the national brand had. The challenge back to the buyer was, how can we exceed the national brand on the bacon involved in that, because that's perceived as the highest value attribute to this item. Lo and behold, the buyer was able to go back, partner with the supplier. We were able to put 40% more protein in the item, maintain our price, and now the item is doing great.
It was only when they found a way of getting that extra protein into the sandwich that he gave them the all clear to use the Kirkland Signature label. So, with all this quality and value in their products, it's safe to say the Kirkland Signature label is pretty successful these days, right? That would be the understatement of the century. Costco haven't just made a home brand that sells well, they've created an industry giant upon which their entire company now relies on. Kirkland Signature is an absolute beast of a brand, not just compared to other private labels, but even against the traditional brands that it shouldn't be able to touch. Right now, Kirkland Signature has a bigger market share than Procter & Gamble and Kraft Heinz. That's insane. The effect can be seen internally too. Kirkland Signature accounts for a third of all Costco business and recorded a staggering $86 billion every year in revenue from sales last year. The message is clear. Customers love the straightforward packaging, as well as the super high value for money you get from each product. Costco's gamble paid off in basically every single way they anticipated. If you ask regular Costco shoppers, they'll tell you that the moment they see a Kirkland Signature label, they know it's a worthwhile buy. Couple that with the fact that the home brand is always right next to the traditional brands, and you've got a recipe for easy sales. No advertising costs, yet guaranteed recognition, with Costco pocketing all the revenue. It's every store's dream. You might be thinking, why doesn't every store just do what Costco does then? Some are trying, but they're hitting serious snags along the way. The answer's simple: they can't afford to. Remember, Costco operates with an incredibly lean business model. They spend nothing on advertising or any fluff. They've set themselves up in a way that allows them to spend more of their resources honing their home brand to be the best it can be. Others can't do that. A home brand of the quality of Kirkland Signature is a huge risk and a huge investment. You've got to spend tons of time and money making sure every single iteration of the label is top quality. If even one product doesn't meet the mark, your whole brand could crumble. Kirkland Signature may be a grand success now, but it's had some bumps along the way, for sure. Back in 2015, you could find Kirkland Signature Cola on Costco shelves. Just like with everything else, you'd expect the same level of quality as, say, Coca-Cola or Pepsi, right? Well, not quite. For whatever reason, perhaps because of Coca-Cola keeping its recipe a close secret to the outside world, the Kirkland Signature version just didn't make the cut. Not only that, but Coke and Pepsi have such rabid, loyal followings that not even Costco could break through the mold and change the game. In the end, Costco had to take their cola off the shelves. They obviously recovered from the hit, but no doubt leadership wasn't happy that they'd risked the reputation of the brand through this failure. But the overall success of Kirkland Signature goes to show that sometimes going against the grain can be the key to success. Costco's strategy as a whole also proves that sometimes what's good for the customer is also good for the seller.